what's going on, crack-a-lackin', everybody? We're back between the ribs. Brody is in the studio. I don't like the way that sounded right then. I think that was...
You want to do it again?
My fault. No, let's keep rolling. Across the country, reports of more and more squatters taking over homes. Imagine you either come home, you've been gone for 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and you find that your locks are changed. And you're like, what the heck?
Well, why were you gone so long?
You were on vacation. A lot of people travel. They leave for 2 or 3 months out of the year. They leave for a month out of the year. People come by, they see the house vacant, they move into it, and when you get back, they're living there. Those are called squatters.
Right.
Well, now squatters have rights. We've done this. This isn't nothing new. This has been going on for a couple years, probably since 2020, and it's only getting worse. In Kentucky, a place you wouldn't hear about this, squatters have crazy rights to the fact that, oh my gosh.
They're protected.
Daniel Toma, they took pity, for lack of a better word, or compassion. Compassion's a better word. They took compassion on a friend of theirs. They let them move into their garage. They're like, hey, we don't have any room in the house, but if you want to live in the garage for a little while, because they would try to fix their car, okay, and his car was getting fixed, so they said, you know what, you can move into our garage for the meantime. We have a little bit of space. He said their car broke down, and he didn't want to throw them out on the street. He was just trying to be kind, trying to help out. He said the first couple moved in the middle of July. They've been there for 3.5 months without his permission. He's asked them to leave several times. They got into a fist fight. Sheriff's department came. He got arrested, went to court, and the judge threw him out of his house.
That's insane.
For violating the rights of the tenant.
They don't have rights. It's not their house.
But apparently, under this Republican deal, right, of the squatters' laws and the renters' initiative for whatever, all right, Toma would have had to posted a 30-day eviction notice on his garage door. Like, these people do not have access to his house, okay? He allowed them to camp out in his garage because their car broke down, and he was trying to be nice to them, and they had no way to, I guess they lived like...
Okay, but he's still living in his house?
Yes, and they were living in the garage. They never paid $1 of rent. There is no lease. There is no contract, all right? There's no nothing, but there's a verbal agreement that they could live in the garage while they got their car fixed because they lived like 5 hours away. And he didn't want them just to live, not have anywhere to go. So he said, hey, you just hang out in the garage, sleep in the garage while you're waiting on mechanic bills to get your car fixed. They decided to stay. 3 months. A fight occurred, ensued. All right, escalated, whatever you want to call it, to a fight. The guy, now here's the kicker. The guy and his wife, who broke down and needed a place to stay while they got their car fixed, been there over 3 months. Now there's 6 people living in the garage. They invited four.
Makes sense.
They invited 4 of their friends. Here's my thing. Why are they buried in the backyard? Do you understand if you moved into my garage and you were not gone, like, hey, get out of my garage, the cops would out.
That's castle law, right? Like, if you feel threatened in your
yes,
house, even in your garage, on your property.
Yes, you would be in my backyard, or you would be in my garage, laying in your blood. And when the sheriff pulled up, I'd be like, hey, listen, I don't know what happened. That car broke down my driveway. Next thing you know, dude's in my garage stealing my tools, and he threatened me with a wrench, and I had to put 2 in him. Well, what about the lady? Well, just to be safe, I put 2 in her. They never would have gotten 6. I would have dealt with the first 2.
Yeah, but number 2 is kind of a...
But here's the thing, right? And I say this all the time. This is the dilemma I walk. As a Christian man, where do you draw the line from compassion and doing God's work and sovereignty and protection for your family?
Well, the sovereignty and protection of your family comes first.
Yes, so
because you can do that.
I guess my mind would be tell the people, hey, you can leave your car in front of my house and I won't have it towed until you get it fixed. But you can't sleep in my house.
Right.
Okay? Because I misread the story. These were not their friends.
No.
These were, and I'm sorry I said friends in the beginning. These were friends.
Well, I mean, after 3 months, they probably got to know each other.
No, the friends were the 2 people in the car. I read the story wrong. 2 friends in a car broke down on the street in front of the guy's house, right in front of his driveway. They got out. They talked to him. They say, hey, we live 5 hours away. We got to order a part, blah, 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 blah. The dude's like, all right, no problem. And they're like, we don't have a place to stay. We don't have money for a hotel. And he's like, look, I don't have any room in my house, but you're more than welcome to sleep in my garage if you want to. So they unpacked their car into his garage. 2 months later, there were 6 people in his garage. One night it escalates into a fight as he's arguing about them getting out of his garage. Sheriff got called, came down. He got arrested for assault. They went before a judge, and the judge threw him out as violating the tenant's rights. So he owns his home. He's not renting his garage to anybody. I just don't understand. Make it make sense. Somebody.
I can't. It doesn't.
The whole story pisses me off. Make it make sense. How have we come as a country to where an act of kindness can turn into you losing your house? But again, here's the deal.
I can't.
He should have dealt with it on day one. Right? Like, you can help somebody, I think, and be a Christian and be like, hey, look, man, I don't mind your car staying here while you get it fixed, but you ain't coming to my house. And then you deal with the car when the car doesn't get fixed. You give them 30 days or whatever, the car don't get fixed and you get it towed out of your driveway. But, or maybe you say, hey, listen, I can put you up at a hotel for 2 nights, but that's all I can do for you.
I can't do that.
But maybe you can, maybe you can't. That's not the deal. But in today's world, you know, the Bible talks about inviting people into your home and clothing the naked and feeding the poor, and taking care of the orphans and the widows. But at what point do you have to say, God, if they come in and take everything I got, or mess with my family, or I don't know, I just say kill them all, let God figure it out. You know, I hate the UAW, right? The United Auto Workers Association.
I've heard.
Well, Stellantis is a company that does auto work. They're a European company, and they're fighting back, which I think, kudos to you, sir. And here's why I say kudos to you. So the UAW, or unions, they're there to make sure the protections of the workers are backed up, provided, whatever you want to call it. That the workers are being taken care of, that they're getting their wages, they're getting their time off, they're getting their breaks, they're getting their lunch, their working conditions are safe and adequate. And then when those things don't happen, they're supposed to step in on behalf of the workers. Well, Mr. Fain, Shawn Fain, is going out and filing lawsuits on his own and doing things to companies on his own. And he just went after Stellantis, it's an automaker, calling them that their corporate greed it violates employee safety, it violates employees' work ethics, yada, yada, yada. It has a list of things. So here's what happened. A while back, they did a strike on Stellantis. Well, and we talked about the 30% pay increases and everything that Stellantis had to go through after the negotiations. Stellantis also said, in order to do this, we have to lay off half the staff, and we have to go to more automation, and we have to move one of our plants outside the United States of America. So they closed the plant, they moved it to Canada, all right? They automated half the workforce, and like 50% of the employees lost their jobs. Mm-hmm. So now the Fain is suing Stellantis, trying to get a judge to order that they reopen the facility they closed and re-employ all the people. And Stellantis is hired lawyers, and they're fighting back against them, talking about this as a declaration of war on the American working class. And he said Fain is nothing but an egotistic maniac who's out for himself. He doesn't care about the people he represents. He doesn't care about the union. He only cares about his power, his control, and the money he makes off of dues and tuition fees to be in the union. He is willfully damaging companies' reputations, including ours, and we no longer will tolerate it. We will no longer yield to the demands of the UAW union. I love it.
Can they do that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a private company. You do whatever you want to. Now, you can allow unionized work. You can allow unions in your place. But you can also go to a stance where it says, hey, listen, we're not doing unions anymore.
So if you're in a union, you can still join even if they're not doing unions anymore?
Right. So you can say, hey, you're a member of that union. We don't care. You can be a member of that union. But we don't do union dues, union fees. We don't do the union demands. We don't negotiate with unions anymore. kind of like what Elon Musk did. If you want to strike, strike. But if you miss work more than 3 days in a row without a doctor's note, you won't have a job when you come back. So if you want to stand out front and strike, go for it. But consider the consequences of doing that. And I think it's time companies start doing that because the unions have turned. You know, it's one thing when it's like, hey man, I ain't had a raise in 5 years. Or I don't get bathroom breaks. You know? Or I had to pee in a coffee can behind the dumpster because I can't go to the bathroom during my shift. So the union's there for those things. The people are treated humanely and ethical principles during their work. Not to be going out single-handedly suing corporations. Because here's the deal. The place, the facility that they closed in Illinois and they moved it to Canada, those 1,400 people in Canada don't pay dues. So Fain is really, I believe the guy, I believe Stellantis, where Fain is only after dues. He's only after, hey man, we're down 1,400 people. Because the 1,400 people that got laid off, they're not paying union dues no more. We need to get the jobs back so we can get their union dues because we're losing money.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Be careful who you sue. Hey, Organic Meats Morris Family Farms. Guys, we got a lot going on at the shop. We're going to be breaking down a half cow, actually a whole cow. We're going to show you that video. We have our $500 meat boxes going on.
So amazing.
So please, shop. The other thing I need, I should have said this earlier, we need 20 people to commit to a year. And if 20 people commit to a meat box, instead of the $199 price, I will drop it back down to $159 if you commit to a year. We are having some challenges with our landlord, with rent, with increases, with insurance. And we need something that we can say, okay, we have this many boxes we're selling at the first of the month, and we know we can pay some bills to offset some of the struggle we're going through. So if you're willing to join the team and help us, we want to help you. So instead of $199, we'll do it for $159, but we need 20 people. That's where we're at. Thank you to everybody who's already in the meat box. But we need 20 people quickly to join.
20 new people.
20 new people. To call 407-402-5686 or text 407-402-5686. Sign up for the monthly meat box and be willing to do it for 12 months. And you don't pay for all 12 months at one time. It's $159 a month. We bill you on the second of every month. But we really need that. If you could help us out, we appreciate all your support. But if you can help us out, 20 people, Morris 75, Organic Meats, be a part of the family. We're out of here.
God bless the U.S.